Hey, Alex Lance at the kitchen here. Just wanted to go over a matchup from this weekend's Major League Pickleball playoffs between the Dallas Flash and Columbus Sliders. This best of three series got a lot of attention because Dallas, as the number 2 seed, had their choice of opponent in the quarterfinals. They chose to play Columbus, even though many people thought Texas was an easier matchup on paper. This decision came back to bite the Flash because Columbus ended up winning the series in 3 to advance to the semifinals in New York. I wanted to talk about men's doubles specifically because the Sliders team of Andrei Daescu and CJ Klinger won all 3 games against JW Johnson and Augie Ge in this series, and they did it playing multiple different styles. So here's a few clips from game 1 when Andrei and CJ had a lot of success with the drive and crash. They were both being aggressive with their third shots and ending points early because JW and Augie were having a hard time with their drives. In game 2, the pace slowed down significantly because JW and Augie were handling Columbus's drives a lot better, so there ended up being a lot more rallies where all 4 players were making it to the kitchen line, and a distinct pattern really started to take shape with Andrei and CJ targeting Augie's backhand in long dink rallies. In game 1, I counted only 1 rally where they made Augie hit 5 or more dinks in a row, and in game 2, there were 7 of those rallies. So Andrei and CJ's strategy became really clear. Augie is known as a very solid player who relies on consistency, but Andrei and CJ were really forcing him to try to create. And then when Augie did try to generate offense, Columbus did a great job of countering those attacks. I've heard this strategy called the V-lock or the dink torture chamber because it just forces the player being targeted to do something outside their comfort zone in order to get out of this pattern. Columbus ended up winning game 2 11-7, and you can see Augie trying to speed up a few different times at Andrei, and Andrei was all over those attacks. Meanwhile, CJ seemed happy to stay in those cross-court dink battles as long as he needed to, so it was really putting Augie in a tough spot. So there was just an interesting evolution in this series, and Columbus was able to win each men's doubles game playing different styles. In game 1, it was an aggressive, fast game style, and Columbus won handily. In game 2, it was a much more grindy style, and Columbus won that way too. Then in game 3, JW was trying to be more aggressive and assert himself to try to keep Augie from getting into those patterns, but that didn't work either because Columbus did a good job of punishing JW when he got himself out of position. This series overall illustrated a weakness that Dallas had toward the end of the season and explains why they weren't able to make a deep run in the playoffs like they did last year. In 2025, JW and Augie finished the season 16-16, which is 50%, and they were 5-9 in their last 14 games of the season. That includes 0-3 in the playoff series, and so they really just didn't finish strong. Whereas in 2024, when Dallas won the championship, JW and Augie were 25-10, and they were 7-1 in the playoffs last season. So it seems like teams really figured out how to play Dallas's men's team in the second half of the season. They were funneling a lot of balls to Augie's backhand to make him try to generate offense, which he wasn't able to do effectively, and then that forced JW to overcompensate and go for too much.